Moving on to some exciting sport now. We're joined in studio by Sifiso Nhlapo. If you don't know who he is, he of course won the BMX World Champions a number of times and represents South Africa in BMX. Thank you very much for joining us in studio. Let us start from the beginning. Where did it all start? How did you get into BMX racing?
I had a friend that used to race, and I used to watch him quite often on the weekends, and just decided to give it a try. I always enjoyed individual sports, and I really fell in love with the sport when I gave it a shot.
And when did you go professional?
I turned professional in about 2006, so I've had a pretty short career so far, but I've had some good results and truly enjoying it.
You're talking about the good results. Tell us a bit about your career highlights. Of course, you've won a couple of medals on the way.
Definitely, I'd say my career highlights would be representing South Africa at 2 Olympic Games. And I finished on the podium twice at the World Championships. Once in 2008, I finished third. And in 2010, I finished second in Pietermaritzburg. So I've had some pretty good races along the way, and some bad ones too, but that's a part of sport.
And you had quite a difficult time in an accident, quite a difficult accident. How difficult was it to come out of that and represent the country again on the world stage?
It's definitely hard. For us to represent the country, it's all about your results and where you're currently ranked. So, coming out of that injury was definitely hard for me. But I had good support along the way. Friends, family, and all my sponsors stood by my side as I was making my way back up to the top. And I made it back.
London 2012 wasn't the greatest of competitions for you. Tell us a bit about what went wrong and what are you doing to sort of rectify that going into the Olympic year in 2016?
2012 was a difficult year for me. I had a really bad knee injury the year before, and leading up to the race was really hard. But for the most part, I definitely made the best of my comeback, and it was hard. I think qualifying alone was a big feat by itself, and definitely been healthy this year, the last 2 years, and leading to 2016. That's my goal, is to have a healthy 4-year lead up, and just keeping it safe. And I just had a lot of fun along the way, and hopefully things work out in 2016 in Rio.
You talk about a 4-year lead up. What is your routine then like for the next Olympic Games? What is your cycle like?
Well, our cycle starts in 2015. It's usually a year or two before the Olympic Games. And we have to compete at a lot of World Cup races to gain points to qualify. So my goal is to hit all those races and do well. Obviously, gain enough points to qualify the country. And stay healthy, which is the most important thing. I think if you can stay healthy, it's a big part of your success.
We'll get to what it takes to actually be a racer in just a little while. But just tell us what 2014 has been for you. What competitions have you been taking part in? Successes, failures?
2014 has been interesting so far. I made a few changes in my training regimen, and I'm working with a new coach right now. So it's been interesting. I really enjoyed the transition. I'm now based in the US permanently and racing the national series over there and all the World Cups, and it's been going all right. Like I said, being healthy is the most important thing for me right now, and I've had a few upsets and a few good results. I finished 4th about 3 weeks ago in Salt Lake City, Utah, which was a good result for me. And we've got the World Championships this weekend coming in Rotterdam, so it's a good lead up to that event.
How fit do you have to be?
You have to be quite fit. That's one thing I love about BMX is you don't have to be good at one thing. You have to be good at many things. So fitness is definitely a big role, in being a complete BMX racer. It's not only explosive speed and strength, but endurance is a big part of it.
And you spoke about healthy eating. What's a diet like?
Diet I think is definitely important. It's a big part of being a professional athlete. Definitely trying to eat the healthy option a majority of the time, and I think a lot of it is about balance. Not being too extreme on the one end and too extreme on the other. So I try to eat healthy for the most part. Taking a lot of liquids and just keep it nice and tidy.
And it looks like a very dangerous sport if you can see some of the visuals over there. What goes through your mind when you're at the top and just about to start racing? What's going through your mind?
I think I'm a lot more stressed in my training and leading up to the event, but at the race I'm really relaxed because I know I've done all the hard work. There's nothing you can really change on the day that's going to change your performance. So just taking your time and preparing and being mentally there is the most important thing for me. I think, there's always a big build up to an event, and a lot of the times it can be very draining. So for the most part, I just try to spend a lot of time with family and friends before traveling to a big event. And, when I'm there to do a job and it's done. So I think that's what works for me.
Great. Now, I want to understand, what is it when you approach a game? What is it that's most important? Sort of the speed, the power, how you're reading the course. Is that the main focus?
I think it's, you got to work on your strengths. You got to know where you're strong and you got to know when you're weak. And, those weaknesses, you got to see where they are on the day and, try fix them, So I definitely think there's a lot of preparation that goes into that. Knowing your competition is one of the most important things. I think a lot of guys, go into big events not knowing who's where and who's doing what. So for me, I think I've been around long enough to know my competition really well. And, that works for me.
How important is the start?
The start's quite important. It's about, I'd say, 80% of the race, and that's where the race is won or lost. And I'm fortunate enough to have really good starts, and it's helped me in the past. So, I've been working hard on that, and hopefully it will help me this weekend at the World Championships in Rotterdam.
Just tell us a bit about the World Championships. Where is it happening? Who's going to be your toughest competitions?
The World Championships is this weekend in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Obviously, all the heavy hitters are going to be there, including myself. So it's going to be really tough, but I'm looking forward to the racing. It's obviously now 2 years before the Olympic Games, so everyone's starting to brush up and slowly get ready for that. So it's going to be a good indication to see how everyone's going to be going in the next 2 years.
What do you do at this stage before a massive competition like this one? What's your focus on?
Definitely resting. I think rest is a huge part of competition, not just training. So I take my rest quite seriously. I try to relax, like I said earlier on, before an event, spend time with my friends and family, and just switch my mind off.
Just to understand, how popular is the sport in South Africa? Do we see a lot of kids taking an interest, and actually not just an interest, but wanting to take it forward as a career?
I think the sport is definitely growing. It's one of those sports that's not really out in the media too much, and it's not one of the big three like cricket, rugby or soccer. So, it's definitely growing, and, I'm hoping in the future there'll be a lot more young kids that, can try and make it as a professional in the future to come. It's an Olympic sport, so it's an official sport, and there's a lot of funding and support that goes along with that. So,
right.
I think it's definitely taking the right turn. It has taken some time, but, hopefully in the future it will grow.
And just very quickly, Tegan O'Keefe is another South African that will be representing South Africa at the World Champs. Tell us a bit about Tegan.
Yeah, Tegan's been doing really well as of late. She's also based in the United States, and she's been racing the national series over there and been doing quite well. So I think we definitely have another good athlete that's dedicated to a sport, and it's unfortunate that we both have to base over there to compete and race, but it's just one of those things, and she's doing well. So it's nice to see another South African taking it to the next level.
Definitely be nice to see us get races that are actually based in South Africa and facilities for it.
Yes.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.